Hello and welcome to Subfacts. I'm your host, Matt. I'm here with my partner in crime, Mooney. What's up, Mooney?
Oh, man. Today was a day, dude. Today was a day.
Today was the day. And today was my day off.
Yeah, exactly. Every time you leave, I get a day.
I know. Awesome. So, yeah, it was awesome. I got to wake up. I, went to the gym, just nobody there. And just got to be in the zone.
No sweaty guy, the sweaty dude one
No, there was like no one there. So
awesome.
It was fantastic. The only thing that stinks is like in my older age, I can't sleep in anymore. Like sleeping in doesn't, like, even on the weekends, somehow I just end up getting up around 8 o'clock and it is what it is. Like
there's no problem.
There's no real sleep in for me anymore. So I got up and I'm like, yeah, going to the gym, and I was David Gogginsing it. So
what?
Did I tell you about David Goggins?
What's that?
Oh my God, David Goggins. My son introduced me to David Goggins over the summer, and dude's like my new hero. He's you would actually like.
No.
I'm going to tell you something you would actually like.
Okay, no.
So David Goggins is a like former Navy SEAL,
right,
who does like triathlon, like Ironmans.
I'm already quitting. Don't tell me anymore.
I was going to tell you one thing that you would think is cool.
No.
I've been watching a lot of David.
Right, you're gonna try something new. You're gonna.
Oh, I'm not trying to. Trust me, I can't do David Goggins. What I was saying is, David Goggins gets you to. He's the motivational guy, like that gets you to push through the, all that stuff. He was on Joe Rogan, and they asked him how come, like when he runs, he doesn't listen to music or anything. Like he doesn't listen to anything at the gym or whatever. And he was like, because people need that music, and I'm training my brain to not need the music. And he was like, the only time he ever used music when he was running was, he said, for 17 hours, because this guy like runs like huge marathons. For 17 hours, he did nothing but listen to it, the Ring the Bell Rocky soundtrack from the Rocky soundtrack. For 17 hours, it was on a constant loop.
Just a doom.
Yes. Yes, and I was like, how awesome is that?
That's awesome, dude.
Dude, David Goggins is my man now. Like, I don't, like, the dude is like certifiably nuts in a weird sort of way as far as like the training and everything he does. But he's very inspirational and motivational. You love motivational people.
No,
you like motivational
speakers. I don't like people who do like crazy workouts and say, oh, you can work out too, and you can be a thing. You got to go to the gym and you got to do this and this. No, I don't.
But he's a motivational guy to where he's like never put anybody on.
I like Tony Robbins motivational. I don't like these types of. Well, if you just eat more of this fruit and
this guy's like, for instance, like he had one too that he said.
We're
like,
already talking about him way too much.
He said, don't put anybody on a pedestal, because if you put them on a pedestal, it's like when you achieve where they are, they're just regular people. And so it's the lines of like, don't give anybody that little edge. If you're playing Roger Federer and you're playing tennis, like he's the greatest in the world or whatever. But if you think he's Roger Federer, the greatest in the world, you have no chance of ever beating him. But yet, if you keep working at it, you can eventually beat Roger Federer. Boom. Anyway, David Goggins. I David Goggins today at the gym. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, motivational Brian.
What's up, guys?
So, you know what I'm talking about, Brian.
How are you?
Great.
All right.
I'm hoping this will cheer me up after Matt talked about something he knew that would probably upset me.
First question.
I didn't think it was going to upset him. It had Rocky.
First question.
To it,
what is your favorite David Goggins motivation? I'm just kidding.
All right.
Oh God. That would be awesome.
I literally would have left the show. I'm not lying.
That would be awesome.
So,
I don't know why you hate Goggins.
First question.
Because it's all we
don't have to talk about it.
Flavor of the week, like type of motivational person, or a flavor of the month, like I'm going to be vegan, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
I didn't introduce veganism.
Okay, so what would be your preferred apocalypse or end to humanity?
That's a good question. I don't want to feel any pain, so like a meteor hitting the earth and us all going away would be pretty cool. But I would like to meet the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That would be awesome.
The one that I guess it's just going based on the pictures.
Again, these are just some examples.
I know it doesn't. These are just guidelines, and it doesn't have to be the pictures. But it seems to me that the one in the lower right, where people are just like, I don't know if it's the Hailbop people, where they just
it's like the what is it, the Judgment Day, where like all the good people just get like zapped up to.
Yeah, yeah. Like I feel good about my chances in Judgment Day. I think I would take that.
You feel good about your chances?
I feel like I would.
No chance.
I feel like
how in the world would you feel good about your chances?
Like it depends. Okay, the way I look at it is, I'm sure there's like everybody has little indiscretions, right? But then, like when they're judging you, they're gonna just go look at the overall. They're gonna go on average, all that kind of good stuff. I think on average, I'm in the good category.
Yeah,
I think I'm in the good category. I think you're in the good category.
I would say on average, but I think you're probably like a B minus. I think you're probably going to go through the A plus.
If it's C's and above, I'm good.
You think it's going to be C's and above? There's 7 billion people. And you think they're going to stop it?
So I might have to wait in a little bit of a line, but come on.
7 billion people. The cutoff is going to be like A minus.
Why is there a cutoff? If you think about it, everybody.
They can only fit so many, dude.
So you're saying there's a finite amount of heaven space. How many people have been born and died in our whole existence?
That's exactly right. So there's probably limited.
So you
space.
think we're at a cap right now?
What I'm saying is it's probably getting pretty full up there. So now they got to be more selective.
No chance. Like I'm thinking C and above. I get in. I might have to wait in another line.
No way.
I don't get the VIP pass like at the airlines, but you know.
Dude, C and above is you're getting in too many people. That's why it's already crowded. They probably lit in C and above.
But you could argue the same with hell. Like if you think about it, you could argue that.
What are you talking about? Hell takes everybody. They don't care.
So there's no cap room for hell, but there's cap room in heaven.
Where else?
That makes no sense whatsoever.
It makes perfect sense. Where else are you going to go if you don't go to heaven? You got to go to one or the other.
Okay. Once again, in the history of man, right? History of man, if you believe, obviously we're taking liberties here. If you're believing in heaven and hell, then they've way over capacity already, if that's based on your rationale.
All I'm saying is heaven is probably started off with your rationale. Hey, C and above, right? Mm-hmm. They realized they got crowded. So then now they got to get that line a little bit further up. They got to get it to A minus, at most B plus.
You could actually argue that based on the fact that hell would be below, it only has the amount that fills up earth. Heaven, since it's above, that's got space. It's got plenty of space. I would argue that there's more space in heaven than there is in hell.
Oh, no chance. No way.
Absolutely. And quite frankly, I think there's more people that are on the good side than there are people that are on the bad side. So they got room. They got room.
I don't know about that.
But see, that's the
either way. I want to meet the marshmallow man.
I think that's the painless version, because outside of that, I do take the meteor because you just want to be first in line. At that point, you want to be at ground zero when the meteor hits. But you're still gonna feel like you know what I mean? Like you'll die. You know those people that you see in
modern English. I'll melt with you.
You know, you see those people that are like burned or whatever, like Pompeii, and they're like, that would be us. So. Okay. So that would hurt a little bit, I think, but I'm thinking.
I'd rather be that than be eaten by zombies.
I'll take Judgment. Yeah, zombies suck. I'll take Judgment.
I love zombies. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to be eaten by one.
Have you ever just been bitten? Like even as an adult,
yeah, it hurts.
Like when you have a kid and they start biting. It sucks. Biting's awful. It's like one of the worst pains.
It is.
All right, great. Okay. Next question: Would your relationship change if your wife suddenly, without discussing it first, got a face tattoo?
1,000,000%.
It would not really. It would depend. Actually, she's the one barring me from getting tattoos, or like it's part of our deal breakers.
It depends on if it's anywhere I would say in the symmetrical vicinity of eyes down to chin. So if you're watching the YouTube, the one on the right, no chance I would stay with that. The left on the eye, no problem for me. If that's the only thing, the one on the pure left, again, no problem. That's nothing really. That's not a deal breaker, but the one in the right, yeah, deal breaker in a heartbeat.
I'm not that hard lined on it. I don't, it depends on, like, it would honestly depend on what it is. Like, if it's like that one, she's got the one on the right, it's a little bit stylish. I'm not saying I'm for it necessarily, but
stylish,
but that wouldn't offend me. Like, if she was still like, hey, let's do stuff, I'd be like, okay. But
this is your wife. This isn't someone you're like a lazy Saturday. I don't think you're listening to the question. Would I lazy Saturday, the one on the right? Sure. But this is your wife. This isn't.
Yeah.
In other words, you're not always doing stuff with your wife. Maybe
sure.
You are, but
I guess, like I said, it really depends on what the tattoo is. I guess that's what it comes down to.
You know what I'm saying? You're not, there's going to be like weeks or a day or whatever. You're going to go.
Like, if she got a Flyers logo on her forehead, I'm not going to argue necessarily.
What?
I don't think it would be. I would be like, hey, maybe we could have talked it over a little bit, but it's all right. If it's done properly and done right, sure, why not?
Wow.
Like, if she got a big cheeseburger on her forehead, I'd be like, okay. But
oh man,
all right.
I don't know.
Right, I see it walked into.
All right,
I would be okay with it as long as it's not a stupid looking tattoo.
All right, whatever you say,
boss.
Right.
I dated a girl once that had a dumb tattoo, and it annoyed me to no end, and that was part of the reason for the breakup.
And you're going to be okay with what tattoo on your wife's face?
I said it depends on what it is. It depends. It depends on what it is. If it's dumb,
I think it's similar to what you said, Mooney, in that if it's like tasteful and like in a certain spot, size wise, and stuff like.
Yeah, like a little tattoo next to the eye, no big deal. On the ear, no big deal.
The ones next to the eyes, I'm always like, who did you kill? It's like, it's not a teardrop on the picture, but it's kind of like, is that her version of a teardrop?
No. All right. Next question.
I don't like face tattoos to begin with.
Let's
thing.
And you just said you'd be okay with that.
It depends on what it is, but for the most part, I wouldn't ever get a face tattoo.
Jeez.
All right, let's go to the.
I think I'm done today. Can we? That's it for the podcast. That was
all
fun.
right. So we're going to go to the third question. How would you convince your family that you are the real you if you were in a room with a doppelganger that is posing as you?
Great question.
I do this all the time with my family.
What?
There's certain things that, like, I would go, I'm like, this is how that if there was a fake me, like a doppelganger, you would be able to tell.
How does that come up?
It happens in conversation, just randomly. Like,
randomly over dinner, you go, hey, what if there's a doppelganger of me? This is
that's not how it comes out. What I'm saying is it's more along the lines of, like, they're like, something will come up where they'll be like, that is only you. And I'm like, and that's how if there's two of us, one, it's one of those things. This question.
Yeah, but the doppelganger would know that you're, that you like Downs shows and you like
that's what I'm saying.
Shows. That's what I'm saying.
We don't know that necessarily. Like, if you think about it, what was it? The movie it's not Starman, Last Starfighter. He had a doppelganger. And it was like a robot doppelganger or whatever. But that guy didn't know anything about the dude. So is it like, if it's just a robot,
case, you can
they
ask
don't know
anything. You can ask, what's your favorite sports teams, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the doppelganger could, like, look around the house and go, oh, he's a Flyers fan, so I could answer that. But if you were like, he specifically has to have this type of pizza, or he specifically has to have X drink or something like that, then that would be your tip off.
Right. No, I think I would have them just say something that they know that would get me angry, and then they would know. Right? Like, certain things they know that would just get me angry. Like you could.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could be like, oh my God.
I would easily point out your doppelganger.
Right. You'd be like, hey, I'm thinking about becoming a vegan, right? Or, hey, I want to get a new technology phone, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, right?
Meanwhile, your phone is better technology than mine. Which is which
All I'm
is the
saying
comedy
is,
of the whole thing.
I think people could easily tell. There's things that they could say or do that would.
Oh yeah, that's what it comes down to. Like I said, we all have it. Like there's times, like I said, when my son will do something, and I'll be like, if there's ever a doppelganger version of you, I will know the difference based on whatever it is that was said.
Good question.
All right,
that was
great.
Awesome.
That's the end.
Oh,
I'm just Ken. That movie, it's funny, and I can't tell if this is I can't tell if this is a Hollywood plot or not, because I still don't trust the Barbie numbers. But the fact that they're like,
movie is doing.
I saw it
huge.
I saw an article, and it was like Barbie tops like Titanic and all this stuff in Ireland. And I'm like,
I hate those articles.
Have we ever cared about Ireland's numbers?
Never.
Like, I have never ever seen anybody go, but how to do in Ireland? It's one thing if you're in Ireland, I get it, but like, I'm thinking it's a plot to go like to keep pushing Barbie. I don't understand.
So my daughter wanted to see it before she went to college this week, and so we went to the movies. I actually loved the movie. I'll say I enjoyed it quite a bit. I will say, Mooney, that I thought the talk about the mink coat and Stallone was going to be more like open and like on the nose. It was a very subtle reference, so I get why you missed it and didn't pick up on it.
See.
So I just wanted to apologize about that and say I think you were. I understand how you could have missed it. Now that I've seen the movie. But I really did.
You're asking for us.
I really enjoyed it quite a lot. I thought it was great and a lot of fun, and maybe I was just in the right mindset and the right mood. But I enjoyed it. So
I can't find the mindset that I would enjoy it. I really like everything I've seen about it.
I agree with the mindset piece. There's no way I would like it. It's Ryan Gosling, and I
thought he was great in it. I thought he was great in it.
So Brian. Knowing what you know about me, is there a chance I would?
I think so, because there's definitely jokes that are like, I wouldn't say they're dirty jokes, but they're like there's lots of funny innuendo and like stuff that they say that like their characters are saying it because they're just oblivious to what they're saying, but us as outsiders know that what they're saying sounds dirty. It's like
kind of like the show Ghost, where they say suck
yes,
off.
Exactly. It's like that kind of humor. So there's like lots of stuff like that. I think there's a bunch of pop culture reference and stuff in it that I think you'd probably get.
I'm telling you, everything I see about it, I
didn't enjoy it.
I thought it was great, but
okay. Well, boom.
But I did enjoy Meg 2. You're crazy. Awesome flick. By the way, it's everything you don't like in a movie. It's complete horse caca, unbelievable action where stuff doesn't happen and will never happen. It's completely crazy storyline. And
it's 100% that.
But it's fun. It's got a good ending. It's, the people I don't know what the first part of the movie, like you loved, but it was boring. It was all it was.
No, but that was at least intriguing that they're under the water. They're like, how are we going to get back up? Those things I'll watch all day long. I love those kind of things.
Yeah.
But like when they got like, there's like, we need to gas up the helicopter. As soon as we put it in, now we have to fly up really quick. Which we all know, we filled up our tanks. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
But okay.
But it was fun. That was the movie.
And there's these lizards things that
I did see the torpedoes.
Yeah. So like there was
that was hilarious. I did like that.
Folks, I don't know if I mentioned it. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but they made these 3 torpedoes, and they specifically made it a point to say 3. So then they hand Jason Statham the 3 torpedoes. He bottoms out on the first one, and he still has 3 in his back pocket, ready to go.
You're right. They did fix it. He only threw 3 total.
Sure. It was so bad. No. I don't know how you enjoyed that. Like, I don't know how you.
Because I don't want to think. Like, that's why I didn't like Barbie. I don't want to have to sit and watch
Barbie
a movie.
made you think?
No, there's innuendo, like Brian was saying, there's these, that's why you probably like it. There's innuendo.
There was a lot of social talk and stuff like in Barbie, and it gets very thoughtful and emotional at some parts.
Exactly. I don't want any of that. I just want to be entertained. I like slip on a banana peel. I like crazy action. I like Die Hard. I like Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell comedies on the most part. That's what I like. I want it in horror movies. I want to be entertained.
Fair enough.
I don't want to go and watch a movie and like Spotless Mind and go, oh, what am I? Oh. I'm already asleep halfway through the movie.
Okay, folks. Well, you've heard it here. So you've listened to our show enough to know who is more like you when it comes to movies and who's more like me and who's more like Brian. So it doesn't really matter. You guys know what advice to take.
Good point.
So what I wanted to start the show off with is saying thank you so much to our friends in Indonesia.
Absolutely.
Indonesia,
they rocked it.
Indonesia has completely embraced us.
We are like
local heroes,
like statues in Indonesia. Almost.
Well, I don't know that we have statues yet, but I think we're local heroes. So Indonesia, we can't thank you enough.
We love you. Awesome.
And here's the thing. So folks, if you haven't been paying attention to our YouTube channel, which we keep telling you to do.
Okay, keep going. Remind me to mention something.
Okay. So last week we dropped the VOB Voice of Bass concert that Mooney and I went to last week. And, you never know when you go to drop these things, you have no idea what the reception is going to look like. And we've done some VOB reviews before, and they've done pretty well. And the people have always been super friendly and nice. But it was one of those, like, we dropped it at midnight, and then the next morning it was like
blew up.
Nothing but positive comments.
What is it, like 15,000?
We had like 20,000 by the morning, 20,000 views.
Now we have like 30 plus.
30,000.
Yeah, something like that.
And like 2,500 subscribers.
So yeah, so like the subscribers almost doubled, folks. It was crazy. And so
it did double, I think.
And so the other thing, so I was like, well, okay, well, we put a band up that everybody likes, and that's cool. We then dropped our show. And the show did ridiculous numbers as well. And I really, once again, it's all thanks to our friends in Indonesia.
Thank you.
And what I think is so fascinating is the fact that I feel like they've considered us family now.
They do.
Because they keep calling us uncles. And I know it's a term of endearment, and I can't say thank you enough for that.
Yes.
But I would love for somebody to write in and let us know, like, how that works, because I did see something with VOB and they were talking to somebody who was older and they kept calling him Papa.
It is. Is it
an age thing? Like
it is an age thing. I looked it up.
Oh, okay. So we're uncles. So thank you.
It is an age thing. Cause I mean, if in about 5-6 more years, we may be
we'll be in the Papa range.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's in like I think like maybe late 50s, early 60s. Oh, okay. So I think we probably just snuck in.
Oh, good. We're like Indiana Jones.
So get this, in the Indonesian culture, like whenever you take something from somebody or give something, you have to give it with your right hand.
Oh,
like they are like completely superstitious about the left hand. They don't like anything to do with the left hand.
Wow.
Like, I mean, if you're using both hands, fine. But like if you're actually giving something, shaking hands, we're going to hand something or take something.
So we're shaking right hands.
You got to always be in your right hand. And it's somewhat disrespectful depending in most situations to look them straight in the eye. So you're not supposed to like do one of those.
Okay, so Mooney is already boning up to go to Indonesia. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it, but Mooney will represent for both of us.
I'm going to bone up like huge if I go.
And I'll be via satellite. You can go to Bali.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's
so thank you very much, Indonesia.
Thank you, Indonesia.
And hopefully you stick with us. We can't guarantee that everything is going to be VOB, but we're definitely going to be obviously paying attention to their career and also more stuff from Indonesia.
Do they have anything else that we would like a movie?
We have some stuff.
Okay, good.
We have some stuff. People have made some great suggestions.
Awesome.
So we'll definitely embrace the Indonesian culture. And I also want to give a shout out to Germany. Because when I'm looking at some of the podcasts, where who's listening where, We got a little population in Germany, so awesome. I want to say hello and servus to those in Germany. That's how they say hello. Servus. And so I watch Feely from Germany on YouTube. Of course you do. So anyway, so thank you, Germany. Thank you, all the friends and family who's been paying attention to our show.
Germany.
We feel honored. With that, I'm going to transition into new lingo. So you know how I'm keeping my finger on the pulse of society and what the young kids are saying.
Okay.
And there's certain things like do you know what drip means?
Nope.
Okay, so when a young person says, I like that drip, that means they like your outfit that you're wearing. Like drip is basically the outfit. And if they say, hey, those shoes are pretty clean, means awesome. Yeah, they're not. Yeah. So like that. So I was watching and I look at a lot of musical stuff, and somebody had comments on my favorite new term was, meat rider.
What?
Meat rider. And it was bands who had the craziest meat riders.
Huh?
Fans. Meat riders are fans.
What?
Yes. Riders of meat are fans.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so if a young person's like, hey, I'm a meat rider for, VOB.
Why do they say meat rider?
Should I explain this one on the show?
It's a part of anatomy?
Yes. It's a part of anatomy.
I know. I get it. I understand. But
it's like riding somebody's jock. It's like, hey, they used to call them stands. And that made sense because of the Eminem song. But now that Eminem's older and the newer generation is coming along, they probably don't even understand stand. Now, meat riders.
Okay.
So, like, I've been a meat rider for Orbit Culture for the past couple weeks in VOB. So that's what they're calling them these days.
Oh my God.
The new generation. Awesome.
No.
I just thought that was funny. Meat rider.
I
would have never ever
drip
put
and clean, but meat rider, that's a little weird.
I don't even get drip, to be honest with you. Like drip, come on.
Yeah, it's your clothes. It's your whole.
But how does your drip?
Right.
Like drip is like a water. Just bloop.
No, but from your neck down, you're covered in X, whatever you're wearing. Drip. I get it. Drip, I get. Clean, I get. Meat rider, I don't get it all.
Wow. I thought meat rider was a little bit more obvious than drip.
Well, no one. That's.
All I know is I love the lingo. I love what kids are.
No.
It's kind of funny. Like I think the kids today are more creative on their lingo than like our generation and the generations before them. Like I think their lingo is definitely more creative than ours.
All right.
So kudos to the youngsters.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty funny. The other thing is, do you remember the Fyre Festival?
Yes.
You saw the documentary?
Right. Yeah. The thing that went nowhere and they had cheese sandwiches and
so Billy McFarland, this guy, created the Fyre Festival, which thought was going to be the greatest festival in the world, set in the Caribbean, and all these rich people were going to show up, and it was basically they had FEMA tents and cheese sandwiches, to your point, and it was just a complete bust. The bands all backed out, nobody got paid. Billy McFarland went to prison, literally went to prison.
Right.
He gets out of prison recently, comes back out this week and says, I'm creating Fyre Festival 2. I have new backers. Fyre Festival 2. Here's the pricing structure. The cheapest ticket is $500. The most expensive ticket is $8,000. And he drops it. No bands have been announced. Nothing like that. Already sold out.
What?
Who are these people?
Sold out?
We all saw the documentary. I think there was actually 2 documentaries, if I'm correct.
Oh my God.
Who are these people that are like, big train wreck, everything blew up, guy goes to jail, let me sign up for this
Why
part
would
2.
Do that?
Not to mention, if you go to jail for something,
for fraud.
You would be like, oh no, I'm not touching festivals anymore.
Yeah.
I'll go be a shoe salesman or something else. The fact that he literally goes into Fyre Festival 2 and people sold it, it's sold out immedately.
I don't understand. How is he?
How is Fyre Festival 2 a thing?
How? I don't need. I did.
And it's the same guy. That's the funniest thing. It's not even.
This gives me no faith in humankind at all.
It's a train wreck. Like, I would understand if AEG or like one of these big promoter companies says, we bought the name to Fyre Festival, we're going to do what he couldn't do. 100% I agree with you. This guy, no chance. If he's still heading it,
I don't understand. This is the wrong day.
It's all like
this day is full of just complete.
I want this thing to crash and burn like no other for all of those dummies. And so, okay, so now we have FBI cryptogram. That's a you thing. That's a. You said you had a cryptogram.
Oh yeah,
story
so no. It's pretty awesome. I listened to this new podcast. It's called Mr. Ballin', right? And
that was my nickname back in high school. He stole it. I want my money.
So it's like a true crime / like gory, gruesome stories type of thing. It's right up my alley.
Yeah.
And I've already binged like 50, 60 something episodes already.
Is it a new story each episode?
Yes, it's a new story each episode. He's a really good storyteller. You know, the YouTube is probably a little bit. I listen to while driving, so I'm not seeing him.
Okay.
He just has a way of using his voice for cadence, and he doesn't he doesn't like me. He doesn't go, oh my God.
Yeah,
right?
He's just factual, like as it is.
He's factual, but he uses inflection and he uses pauses, and he's very good at storytelling.
He's a good orator.
Yes, absolutely. So basically, the podcast that I listened to today was about a guy named Ricky McCormick. In June 1999, sheriff officers in St. Louis, Missouri, discovered the body of 41-year-old Ricky McCormick, and he's been murdered. He's been dumped. And they couldn't figure out why. He recently went to the hospital for a few days, and he claimed that people were after him, and he's having head pains, all these things. So quickly they're like, you know what? We're not putting much effort into this. He was all emaciated and thing. We're fine. We're going to make this a cold case. But it eventually went to the FBI, and this FBI director was fascinated. He's like, how come no one could figure this out? So apparently they pulled out this piece of paper from his pocket, right? A couple of pieces of paper, and it had this cryptogram on it. And to this day, they've spent 20 to 30 years, or maybe 20 years, trying to figure out what this cryptogram says, and no one can figure it out. The FBI's top people are on this, and they can't figure it out. There's a picture right there. So they actually released a website, and they're having the public help them. You can log on to this website, right? And you can go to this cryptogram, and you can see if you can help them figure it out. And they even give you steps on trying to help, how to break a code. So I'm fascinated. Cool. I was like, you're getting how awesome is that? If I were really cool at that, I'd be like, oh my God, I want to spend hours trying to help the FBI.
Just for the record, if I was in the FBI, do you know how many cold cases I would solve?
Zero.
I would not care. I would be like, it's a cold case. I'm out. At no point am I that guy who's ever going to go.
But look at this. These are, it's nuts.
Maybe what if it was just gibberish?
It could have been, but and
they're wasting all of the taxpayers' money on gibberish.
No. They use it it's a special group of people that are looking at this one.
I hope somebody finds it. I hope the nerds out there, I hope somebody finds it and figures it out. So I don't want to poo-poo that because it is kind of cool. I just think in a weird sort of way, cold case, done, stamp it, get it in a box.
I kind of like cold cases, but I get your point. Yeah, if it's not figured out, even when I like cold cases when they find out the real killer, right? They free someone who's, incorrectly incarcerated. I kind of like cold cases from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But if no one's been imprisoned and like they don't know who killed the person, like we tried for a few years.
At some point the person should just get away with it. If they did that good a job that it became a cold case, let them have it. That's their win. They get a victory. They'll get sloppy later on and then they'll get caught. But let him have the perfect crime.
And and he was 41-year-old. So what if he was killed by another 40-year-old, right? And F91 was like 30.
At that point, what are you going to do?
If he hasn't killed anybody else and the dude is 70 years old, what are you going to do? Like, arrest him?
Yeah.
Like, he could be living the good life right now and just being like,
I feel like it was like 20 years ago. There was a dude who was like 90 something that literally like drove his car into like a whole, like there was like a parade or something and he kind of just drove his car, killed a few people. But it's like, you're 90. What are they going to do? They can't.
Right,
they'll put you in jail or
his driver's license. He's
put him in jail or whatever. But come on, 90 is not really going to do much to him. So exactly. I don't know. Like I do like the movies where somebody's like, there's a smart person off to the side and they go, that case has always been bothering me. And they find, I appreciate that, but it's not for me. Like, I'm never going to be the guy that solves the cold case. Like we all would be, I would be shocked. My family, that's how my family would know it wasn't me as a doppelganger. If my doppelganger solved a cold case, they would know it was not me. They would be like, that's not the Matt we know. He's not looking for cold cases.
But yeah, no, if you guys like crime podcast or not all crime, but like weird stories, like facing death and beat it, like this guy's awesome.
After you've listened to our podcast, of course. Cool. No, it is cool. And I don't want to poo poo it because I do like puzzles. I suck at puzzles too. That's another thing. You're good at puzzles. I suck at puzzles.
I just thought it interesting that the FBI is actually asking the public for help. That's odd.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. What is kind of cool, this is actually, folks, you guys, if you're listening to this show, if you've been listening to this show, you know that there's one particular sports team that Mooney is a diehard. I have never met a fan bigger than Mooney when it comes to this particular sports team, which would be the
New York Jets.
Okay, so folks, HBO every year does Hard Knocks, and this year they're focused on the New York Jets. I have seen both episodes and you have seen
0 episodes.
Wow. Anyway, I'm not saying this just because my partner in crime over here is a Jets fan. I will preface this by every year I get suckered in. Like, I am a sucker for the people, even my most hated teams. When the Cowboys are on Hard Knocks, I still find people that I kind of like. And I'm like, oh, they're kind of cool, even though they play for the worst team ever. So I'm a sucker, and I will admit this, but I'm not going to lie. I could care less about Aaron Rodgers prior to Hard Knocks. With Hard Knocks, I'm a fanboy. I'm a meat. What am I? A meat rider?
Oh my God.
I am a meat rider for Aaron Rodgers at this point. He has a way about him. Like he literally seems to be the greatest, like, take away, if he wasn't even a great quarterback, take away the skill, you put him on the field just the way he is with all the other players, that's the guy you want in your team.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
I've
seen a lot of interviews, like Twitter / X videos, and I kind of like what he's
I have no idea, and I have no idea if he's playing up for the camera, whatever it is,
sure
but
he is.
He's got me. He's got my heart. And same with Quinnen Williams.
Oh yeah.
He seems to be a good dude too.
Quinnen Williams, they just paid him a lot of money, like 20. He's the second highest paid.
Yeah, he got paid
defensive tackle, like 24
and
a year.
They did discuss his pay, and it seems like the team is gelling. But once again, every Hard Knocks, I buy into it.
Well,
so,
Liev Schreiber's awesome.
Yeah,
that guy's voice, holy cow.
Which Aaron Rodgers called him the voice of God. And so, which is funny because, like, once again, Aaron Rodgers, like Liev Schreiber, which never shows up on any of these Hard Knocks, you just hear his voice, comes in a helicopter on the field basically, and Aaron Rodgers was like the only one that's going up to talk to him. He's like, "Hey, bud, what's up?" And then he was trying to get some of the other players to go talk to him. He's like, hey, get your time, be in the now,
This is, it's rare to meet a dude like that, man. Leaves best.
Yeah, but it's so funny because all the other Jets players are literally focused on what like Aaron Rodgers is doing. Like he has this, he has this pattern where he like stops and picks up grass and he just tosses it. And no one really knows why he does it or what.
Old man River, man. The guy's, he knows everything there is to about football.
Yeah, all I know, I love it. It's my favorite season in a long time. And it's not because,
right. I mean, because right.
And I would say if it was
dudes.
the Commanders, it would not be as good. And that's my team. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Hard Knocks this go round.
There you go.
Let's see. Since we're talking about that stuff. Okay, so I get to do another review. I'm actually watching movies lately. I had the Meg 2.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend I checked out the movie No Hard Feelings, which I highlighted before because I really wanted to see it.
I do want to see
with
this.
Jennifer Lawrence, who you know me, I love anything J-Law. And it's sold as a like hard R comedy. Yeah. And so when I think of hard R comedy, I'm thinking of like American Pie,
right?
Like Revenge of the Nerds, like that kind of stuff. I will tell you this, folks, it is not what you think it is.
It goes above that?
No.
Oh.
It's so in the hard R comedies that we know and love, let's say American Pie, for example.
Yeah.
90% of it is like slapstick, funny, raunchy stuff.
Right.
And then there's like 10% heart. Because there has to be a story involved. Exactly. This is almost
the band camp and he gets together in the show at the
This is almost the opposite. It's like flipped. So there is some like and it's not even raunchy. It's just there is nudity, J-Law nudity. It's for about a minute or two.
That's awesome.
Whatever. It's great. I'm not going to complain about that.
Who would?
The story, it's not like funny. It's not that, but it's heartwarming. It's definitely more of a relationship movie than it is a teen comedy. If you know what I mean. So I don't think they sold it well. I think if they sold it as like, hey, this is a, more of a relationship type movie, then it would be received much better. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was entertaining. I watched it.
I do want to see it, but like I get
it's just not what I thought it was.
I just don't want it to be too boring. That's the problem.
Yeah, like they definitely didn't do what they could have done with it.
Right. And that's what I was fearing. It felt like a movie that could be more raunchy, that more maybe not slapstick, but you know what I'm saying? They can push the edges.
And I think if it was that, they wouldn't have gotten J-Law, even though she was like an executive producer.
Right.
And like she was like when they were doing press for it, was kind of like, oh, I want to get into comedy and I love this kind of stuff. And it's like, you don't. If you read the script and it was like a raunchy hard R comedy, you wouldn't have been a part of it.
Like Bad Moms. Like there's a character in Bad Moms that's always funny and raunchy, and she's great, and I love her scenes.
Yeah,
that's what I was hoping for.
No, it's not. No, there's not. And there was nothing, to be honest with you, outside of like the blatant like nudity part, which
is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue. I paused. Don't think I I'm like, am I seeing what I'm seeing here? But it almost was kind of like the scene itself. There was a lot of irrelevance to it, so it was just sort of like, No.
Did I see that correctly?
What?
You're not talking about. Oh my God. All right, I'll let you get to it in TV, but that better not be what I think.
Oh, I'll tell you. No, don't jump ahead, sir. Okay, so anyway, no hard feelings. Just know what you're getting into. It's actually a decent. It's fine. It's good.
Lazy Saturday movie.
Yes, exactly. Don't pay $20 for it. I know right now it just came out on you. It came out. Don't pay $20. Wait till it's like $9.99.
Okay.
$10, you're fine.
There you go, folks.
Okay.
$9.99 or less.
Movies coming out this week. Gran Turismo.
I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued as well. I'm not a big fan of racing as it is. The fact that the storyline, which it says based on a true story, we understand it to be very, very loosely based. So we might as well be the star of it.
Right.
But it's very much, I mentioned Last Starfighter. It's very much in line with that, and the fact that apparently they take people who are really good at Gran Turismo, the video game, and they were like, hey, let's see if you guys can be race car drivers or whatever. And then, they guess one of them makes it or something like that. To me, it seems like if it's on Saturday afternoon, I'll watch it. I'll check it out. I'm not going to rush to the theater to see it, but I do like the movies where it's an underdog, they're not supposed to happen situation.
The reason I want to see it is that character, the one who gives them all the directions in the car. He looks awesome.
David Harbour.
Yeah.
The guy from Stranger Things.
Yeah, I guess he looks like he would be funny, like a good coach. I don't know, man.
I love him in shows. I hate him in person. He's one of those dudes that his away personality almost ruins the show for me.
Okay. Oh my God. I'm not sold on this.
Dude, so the next movie is Retribution. Liam Neeson's we love Liam Neeson.
I love Liam Neeson.
This is basically Speed. They took the same premise of Speed, basically. He's in a car, he's with his kids, and it's basically if you have to keep driving at X amount of speed or else your car is going to blow up. So we've seen this before. But Liam Neeson Speed, I'll watch it. Don't think I won't.
I'll watch it. I'm not going to go to the theater and watch it.
I think Liam Neeson's can do no wrong, and clearly he doesn't have to do much other than drive. You know what I mean? It's not like he's physically challenged.
Because he's got like 8 or 9 movies coming up. So
well, this could be the best one.
It could be. They say it's the best since Taken. So I mean,
it could be. I'd be curious to check it out.
I do love Liam Neeson.
Yes, Liam Neeson's is awesome. Okay, folks, we're going to be bouncing out of the movies of the week. But before we do, we definitely want to tease the fact that next week we will be recasting Animal House.
Yes.
We've done some recastings before. We put them on YouTube. So if you're a big fan of those, we are going to be recasting Animal House. It's one of our favorite movies. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it right away. I don't know
if it's not in your top 10 movies for anybody. I don't really.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a hard time understanding what you put above.
So, folks, now we're giving you warning ahead of time. We haven't been doing that for the other ones we've done. We're giving you plenty of warning. Send us comments. Send us emails at subfactspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Let us know who you think, and just pick the top characters. That's, we don't need to go through the whole character rundown.
The main ones, you know who they are.
Yeah.
Pinto, Bluto, Flounder.
Yeah. Just pick the main ones. Let us know who you think would be the best in recasting of Animal House. And we'll definitely be doing that next week. We're going to be putting it on YouTube. So be prepared. Don't say we didn't warn you. And so now it's time for TV, folks.
No.
I mentioned last week that I was watching Down with Love, which is basically a Down syndrome dating show, which has been fantastic. But my son and I ran through it really quick. It was just boom. So then
no idea why.
CDO tells me, oh, the better show is Love on the Spectrum.
Shut up.
And it's about people with autism, dating show type of thing. So I'm not going to go into details with it, but the funniest aspect of this was I recognized Downs people and other people from other shows I've already seen. So I was like, when they introduced this, they were like, this guy's going to be dating this one. And I'm like, dude, that's Rachel. That's Downs Rachel from, Rachel. And my son looks at me, he's like, how do you know this?
Downs Rachel.
And I was like, dude, she's on another show. I've seen her. And then there was a girl named Abby who I followed on TikTok. And I'm sitting there going, I am one.
You follow a Downs person named Amy?
No, Abby has the tism, as they say.
Oh.
That's Downs Rachel.
Yeah.
And so
her name is Downs Rachel.
No, her name is Rachel. I just called her Downs.
This
Rachel,
is why Matt would not get chosen to go to Ultimate Judgment Day.
Well, I'm celebrating them. And that, once again, the overall message is there's somebody out there for everybody, people. The heart wants what the heart wants.
Why do we keep bringing up these TV shows that
they're happy?
Nobody watches.
CDO watched all of them and told me which one was the better one.
One person. On the most part, nobody watches these shows.
I guarantee you Netflix probably has some numbers that would shock you.
No.
Anyway,
it's
Love on the Spectrum.
By the way, then why is it not on the top 10 most watched?
It shows up on mine like right away.
But if you look at top 10 most
so
watched,
last week was Downs with Love was on the top 10 watch shows on Netflix.
Boom.
Oh my God.
Vindicated.
Stop it.
So I'm telling you, people know
it's also
what's
just
up.
Because nobody's watching Netflix anymore. So
well, hey, I told you the story. I was going to cut Netflix, and that's when they popped.
So everybody else in the world did that too, except for you, and that's why Downs with Love is top 10 because you're the only one watching it.
We all I know is my son and I crushed the Love on the Spectrum too. So now we need another disability show to watch to bond. We've still been watching 90 Day, but anyway. The other thing, I've mentioned it when it first started airing, the new season, but What We Do in the Shadows, like, I'm not gonna lie, this is the 4th season.
It really has been good this season.
It's literally been the best season since like the first season. It is so funny, and if you haven't been watching it, you need to check it out. The 3rd season was a little weak. I'm not gonna lie. The 2nd season wasn't as good as the first. It kind of looked like that was the trajectory. They came back with the 4th season, and it's like back to being fantastic. I highly recommend What We Do in the Shadows. You guys, if you like anything vampires and just straight comedy, it's so worth it. And so
you heard it there, Perks.
Yes, and it's on FX. I watch it on Hulu. The next one is for the nerds. I know Brian's looking forward to
this one. I actually want to see.
So it's Disney Plus, I believe, released Ahsoka, the Star Wars thing.
Ahsoka, and it started last night, and it's amazing. It was so good.
It looks amazing.
It was awesome.
Okay, this one actually looks like an amazing show. Well done, well choreographed, unlike Down with Love.
If Ahsoka had Downs, I'd watch it.
Of course you would.
But they don't.
Or if she was 10,000 pounds.
That would be hilarious. Why don't they do a Jabba the Hutt side story?
That would be cool with you? Like if the next Jedi warrior that saved the whole entire Jedi race was 5,000 pounds and had Downs?
Yes, that would be the best. I think no, but why don't they do a Jabba origin story?
Like a Downs Jedi? Like, what would you do? Sell the action figure?
Oh, I totally don't think I would. I would stock up on those bad boys.
Like, how would he say, like, I'll kill you, Darth Vader? Like, I mean,
which by the way, we were watching, and okay, maybe we can look this up. So the boy and I were wondering, do they have Downs pets? Like, can pets be Downs? Because it's just a chromosome that's like missing.
Maybe.
I've never seen a Downs anything other
than
people.
See a Downs
I don't want to look that up, and I don't think it's possible.
I want a Downs pet.
Oh my God.
I just want to know that it exists.
See, that looks awesome. It's got the Darth Maul double lightsaber.
Yeah.
So if you've ever been a fan of Ray Stevenson, he's in this as a bad guy, a bad evil Jedi. And he was awesome in it. Really cool.
So he's on the dark side?
I know Ray Stevenson, but I can't think of what I know.
So he was in Rome.
Oh yeah.
He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Didn't he just?
He did. He unfortunately just passed away. So
yeah, he won't be in season 2.
Oh my God, he won't be in season 2. Oh, they'll find a new.
They might no. They'll AI him or something.
All right, I want to see this. This looks actually pretty good. There's more Star Wars fans than Downs fans.
Absolutely.
I'm not so sure.
Absolutely.
We'll check out the numbers between Ahsoka and Netflix.
There we go.
Okay. Who doesn't have downs?
This is Cindy Starfall, and it's time for Mooney's Dugout. Love you, Mooney.
Boom.
Okay, got some quick ones this week. So it wasn't really crazy sports week. Corey Davis, wide receiver of my beloved New York Jets, 28 years old, and he's stepping away from football.
Does he have money? Like a big contract?
Oh, he's got money. He probably has $35-40 million. He played the last 2 years for $10 million with us. That's about $20 million. And he had a decent salary with the Panthers. So he's probably
doesn't need to do anything for the rest of his life.
No, he doesn't need to do anything.
Good on him. Stay healthy.
But he was coming off an injury, and he had a couple of weeks off of training camp because he family matters, other things going on.
Urkel.
So, he's basically stepping away from the game, and a lot more players seem to be retiring early and either focusing on mental health or afraid of, concussions and what that can do to you in the future.
Oh yeah. The new generation, along with the drip and all that stuff. I was watching somebody who really has a finger on the pulse for when it comes to young people. And they were saying, like, would you let your kid play football or would you rather have them play like esports? And hands on, it was like esports because all the concussions and stuff like that. So football is like what it's going to look like, in 30 years. I have no idea.
Yeah. Who knows? It's a legitimate concern. I don't think his concern was injuries more than probably concussion related, family related, wanting to have a good life in the future. He did say walking away, didn't use the word retirement. So it makes me a little iffy. But we'll see. Sam Darnold, former New York Jet, is going to be the second string quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, which puts him right with Christian McCaffrey, who he's with the Panthers. But what's interesting here is that means Trey Lance may either be on the way out or he may be traded. So the Trey Lance lookout starts for the 49ers.
Sam Darnold looks like Rudy.
He does look like Rudy.
It's Rudy.
Austin Mathews just inked a pretty big deal. It was like 13 million a year. I think it was 4 years, $52 million.
He might be worth it.
He is. He's a really good hockey player.
Dude, he came in strong.
But 13 million is high for a hockey salary, right? I mean,
it is, but not not his caliber though.
Okay, I thought the highest salaries in hockey were in the
what they used to do what they used to do is they'd make these like the Ovechkin, that can't exist anymore, where you go like 12 years or something like that. So they used to make the really long contracts. So now they have to go they have to go shorter. So it's not unheard of, especially at his caliber. But yeah, like ideally what they would have done, here's a 12-year, even if you're retired, you're getting.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Baseball still does that, and I don't know where I stand per se. But what's coming up is literally the biggest thing in all of sports, probably sports betting, if you are sports wagering arena, is fantasy week.
Boom.
So like the next 2 weeks, from like starting like this weekend, probably Saturday, maybe even Friday night, going into September 6th, the next couple of weeks are pure fantasy drafts. Like anyone in a fantasy league will be drafting players over the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Winning your fantasy football draft or spending a fantasy week with Cindy Starfall. What do you do?
Cindy Starfall. Not even a question.
Just
because my total investment in fantasy league is about $210. So that would be well worth. And the winnings are probably like $1,500. I would pay $1,500 for a week with Cindy Starfall.
Boom. There you go. And a fantasy week at that.
Yeah, 100%.
She should offer fantasy weeks. Just
that would be
steal the name.
I mean, I would literally start selling
the kidney.
anything I could. So yeah, I mean, and and once the football season starts, it's betting central, right? Your DraftKings and your FanDuel are going to be blowing up with stuff. So I love this time of year, football betting. So it's here, folks.
Awesome. Okay, folks. So it's a big week for concerts for your boy. Last week we went to VOB. This week, actually tomorrow, I'm going to see Ghost with Amon Amarth opening up, which can't wait. Gonna be awesome. And then on Friday, the next day, we'll be checking out our boys, Eyes of the Nile, who was on our show. And so two back-to-back concerts. Gonna be awesome. Can't wait. Very excited. And so I will be sure to pass on the Subfacts love to Eyes of the Nile.
Nice.
And people may ask, am I going to be recording the Ghost show like we did VOB? Probably not, only because Ghost, if you go to YouTube, every show they've done, somebody has already recorded the whole show. So there's really
it's
not
not unique, right?
Yeah, there's not much I would be able to add to it other than just a quick intro, and you're not going with me. So
yeah,
probably it's not going to be doing that. If anything, I'll be recording for my own, and even then I thought about not doing it just because it's already all on YouTube anyway. Like you can see the whole concert
and save yourself the having a whole
and I can just sit back and enjoy. So good stuff on that. There is new music this week, and got to give credit to our man Alice Cooper.
What? He's
still in the game.
Wow.
He has his album is called Road, which is interesting because Alice Cooper typically has like another band, like when he's like in the studio, and this one's called Road because he's actually using his road touring band, which is different. Nita Strauss, who I love, Nita Strauss is in the road band. His road band is phenomenally talented. And so it's kind of cool that he's actually putting them on an album because he usually doesn't. But you got to give Alice Cooper.
What's his album called?
It's called Road, which is because he's using kind of the road crew. You got to give Alice Cooper credit in a world where some bands are retiring, they're not putting out good stuff. Alice has always kind of maintained that
How old is he?
He's got to be 70, high 70s, I think.
High 70s?
Yeah, think about it. He was like an originator in the 75.
Oh my God.
75.
75.
Yeah.
He's still putting out albums.
And I saw him live maybe 6 years ago, and it was fantastic. He's so good.
70 years old, and he's put on an awesome live
He
show.
has figured out how to be old and still, because I guess from a singing perspective, it's just the way he sings isn't necessarily gonna be too taxing on the voice as you get older, but he still puts on an amazing show. I highly recommend, even if you don't even know anything about Alice Cooper, if you get a chance to see Alice, go see Alice. It's such a fun show.
Okay.
He cuts his head off in every show, so it's always fun.
What?
Yeah, he puts it they put him in a guillotine and they chop his head off. There's a lot of theatrics when he goes. Alice was the original shock rocker. He was the one that
Ozzy went
Alice was before. Yeah, Alice was technically before, and all the craziest things. He would take baby dolls and cut their heads off and stuff and throw them all the stuff that really creep people out back in the day. He's since been upstaged, I guess, almost by Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie, stuff like that. But Alice still puts on an amazing show. It's always fun to watch, and you're not just going to sit there and see a guy sing songs. You're going to have fun.
That's awesome.
The next album coming out is Candlebox, who I do love. I love Candlebox.
Really?
I do. I saw it when in their heyday. I probably saw them 10 times.
Wow. Love
their first album. It's amazing. To this day, I'll still listen to it routinely. This is what was funny is they've clearly announced they're retiring, and they've they put out a live album, which basically said we're done because they want a farewell tour. But yet they just released a new album called The Long Goodbye. And it's like, could you just be retired already?
Yeah, how
be
can
done.
you retire and then put out a new album? Because then fans are going to want to see the new album live.
No, I don't think fans really wanted to see them. Like, I feel bad for them because like I do enjoy them, but like on their farewell tour, they were like opening for somebody else. So it wasn't even like they were headlining. And so I do feel bad because like Kevin Martin, the lead singer, still sounds great. So I think they realized like, hey, maybe we're not catching any heat. So, but why put out a new album? Yeah. Like it doesn't make any sense. Go about
just should be the name of the album.
Yeah, just retire and be done with it. The next is for the country fans out there. I hear he's really big in the world of country, but Tim McGraw,
he's huge.
He has a new album out called Standing Room Only. And so
I won't get it. I like Tim McGraw. But
he seems like a good dude. Like every time I've seen him in interviews and stuff, he just seems like a really, really good dude. Great actor too.
I was going to say, I like Tim's acting better than I do his music.
I could not tell you one song he does, but I know his wife is hot.
I know one song he does only because he sings it with Faith Hill. It's Your Love.
Yeah, Faith Hill. Really hot. But he seems like a good dude. Like he seems like a good guy I could hang out with. So
I would hang with him. I'd have some beers with him.
Yeah, and I'm putting this in there in honor of BK.
BK mentioned it?
No, BK came to the realization because I try to show him new music I'm listening to, and he tries to show me the same. And in our older ages, I'm going more into like death metal and all that stuff. He's going into country.
Oh, jeez.
And so it's like, hey, it is what it is.
Wow.
And so we couldn't be on any more opposites of the spectrum there. But so I'm throwing a little country in there I'm sure there's other.
I like country. I'd rather know about Tim McGraw than Candlebox, but
country's huge. So I cannot deny the fact that there are country fans out there. And I think for that,
no mailbag?
No.
Oh my God!
Space Coast Bill must be on vacation.
I thought somebody would write in.
Anybody?
Ouch.
Well, we've gotten so many comments on our YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTube. That a lot of people write in there. There, you make a good point.
We're uncles,
Uncles. I would like to think he would be an uncle too if he was part. If he was part of the concert, then he went with us because. Andy at Creative Underground.
Funny you mentioned it. My uncle was actually at Creative Underground today recording something. No joke, not for the show. This legitimately. Yes. So my uncle is actually with Andy.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm sure they're done by now, but
That is awesome. All right. All music, all tech support for Subfacts is provided by our friend Andy at Creative Underground. He doesn't stop there, folks. He does youth sporting events. He does corporate events, weddings, concerts, pro karaoke, and everything is built around custom client requirements. You have to go to his website as soon as you can. It's www.creativeunderground.co.com.
And what can we say about Ben from KStreetPhotographyDC.com that we haven't already said 50 million times? But Ben,
he's a pimp.
He's a man of the people. He just put some new photos up on Facebook where he's styling and profiling, as Ric Flair used to say.
Styling? I love Ric Flair.
Yes. So Ben's all over the place. He's an award-winning image builder and FAA-certified pilot of drones. KStreetPhotographyDC.com specializes in commercial real estate marketing, business headshots, personalized business branding, imaging, corporate events, all of that good stuff. When you think of photographs, you think of Ben from KStreetPhotographyDC.com.
And if you think of clean cars and clean trucks and looking like $1 million, you think of Big Dog Auto Detailing, folks. I'm telling you, you got to get the ceramic wax for your car. The summer is brutal on cars with the heat and sometimes the rain. And, we've been getting summer storms. So I'm telling you, folks, you got to get that ceramic. You got to call them immediately. You want your car to look brand new wherever you go. It's 571-233-8716. Tell them Subfacts sent you. You won't be disappointed.
Boom. And folks, we've mentioned it quite a few times, but really, please check out our YouTube channel. It's blowing up and we want you to be a part of it. So if you haven't already hit subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. And the notification button. So when we do more videos and all that kind of good stuff, just like we're going to do Animal House recasting, you'll be the first to find out. So definitely check out our YouTube. Leave comments. It's always appreciated. If you are too scared to leave comments on YouTube, but you want to write in at subfactspodcast@gmail.com. Be a part of the show that way.
Send us
let us
mail.
know. Absolutely. And if you want to see more from us, if you want to get our merch, go to subfactspodcast.com, hit the merch section.
Get a t-shirt.
Yes,
get
absolutely.
A towel.
And I found out we can actually link that to our YouTube channel. So if somebody
what we
wants
got to do? We got to link it to the Indonesians.
Oh, that would be awesome. When you go to Indonesia, if everybody's rocking the Subfacts merch,
that would be so cool.
That would be pretty dope.
We should have done that.
Yes, we'll have to do. We'll have to get our producer on it.
Next concert we do, we got to put a link. That would be great.
That'd be pretty dope. So yes, and I don't want to sleep on the fact that we are still doing audio.
Branded Subfacts and VOB.
Boom. So I don't want to sleep on the fact that we do still have an audio presence on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, any place where you're going to get a podcast, we're going to be there. Just look for Subfacts. That being said, I think we've said it all. We got busy. We've been busy. So we will see everybody next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next week.